Okay, in this video tutorial, I'm going to talk about another type of loop. So if you've been watching them in order, you already covered a for loop and you covered a while loop. This tutorial is going to talk about do-while loops, right? And a do-while loop and a while loop are almost identical. The only difference is that a while loop checks the condition, right, at the top of the loop. So it's possible in a while loop you never even enter your loop at all. In a do-while loop, you're always going to enter your loop one time because the condition is checked at the end of the loop. So let's talk about this. Let's create a do-while loop. So if I have a variable int x and I assign it a value of 1, let's say, my do-while loop is set up like this, right? I have do, right? And then at the end of the loop, right here, I have my while, right? So I say while x is less than or equal to 10, right? And here's what happens. Let me indent properly. Okay, so here's what happens. No matter what, I'm going to enter this do loop. I'm going to execute what's in here at least one time. So if I had a system.out.println in here where I'm displaying x, right, plus x, it's always going to go in this loop one time because it's checking the condition at the end of the loop. So if I ran this, right, let's increment x, right, in my loop, right? Let's run this loop, this do while loop, and you'll see it's the same exact thing. And you're saying, well, what's the difference? I could have just used the while loop. But it's a big difference. Let's say x was 100. With a while loop, to go through 1 through 10, it would never enter into the loop. In this case, it's going to execute this one time and then drop out. It's always going to go into this loop. So it's going to print out x is 100 and then drop out. Now you're saying, but how is that even useful, right? I mean, I didn't want it to go into the loop, right? There are times that you're going to want something to go into the loop at least one time. I'm going to give you a specific example of it next, but for this point, the do while, the important part of a do while is to be sure that you know that a do while loop will always execute the code in the loop at least one time before the condition is checked, right? It may execute more than once, but it's at least once. Whereas a while loop, or even a for loop, may not ever execute the loop at all, right? Because, for instance, let's quickly write this as a while loop. While x is less than or equal to 10, right? Let's just copy these, right? Because this is what I want to do, right? Let's put that in there, right? So let's change this to a while loop, right? Okay, so now x is 100 while x is less than or equal to 10. It's going to do this. If I run this code, nothing happens, right? Because the condition is tested first, whereas a do while, the condition is tested at the end of the loop.